What's going on? Hey, you might have noticed that the channel name changed. Yes, that was on purpose. Now I gotta tell you the crazy story. Well, my name is Jalal Wilson, as many of you should know. Maybe you don't know, but now you know it's Jalal Wilson. And I'm gonna tell you the story about how I eventually finally came to changing the name of the channel. But first, I have to start off with an apology. Why an apology? I owe short men worldwide an apology. Yes, an apology. And what I'm apologizing for is I did the exact thing that I was trying not to do since I started the channel. What is that, you ask? Well, I focused all the attention on the one thing that I'm telling you to not worry about. I called the channel Short Man Nation. What does that say? Well, focus on the fact that you're short. That's not what I was trying to do. That is not the message that I was trying to project. It wasn't to focus on the fact that you're short. We already know that. What the message should have been is, regardless of your height, here are all the things you could be. Here are all the examples of other people who, regardless of their height, regardless of their stature, still figured out a way to do it. Still figured out a way to become iconic. Now, I'm not talking about iconic in the world standards. I'm talking about iconic for you. You are a stature icon. But see, I couldn't see it then. And to be honest, I was afraid. I'm gonna tell you why. This sounds crazy, but I'm gonna tell you why. I was afraid because I thought I would have to start all over with the channel. And I ended up going to something that I'll talk about later in this video, and it changed my perspective, and it was like, duh. But let's go back. So again, with my apology, I'm sorry. It should have never took me this long. I came up with the idea for this stature icon and the logo and some maxims about 7 months ago. Yes, 7 months ago. But I didn't believe in me. I didn't believe in my ability to do this one thing, even though I realize it's wrong, come back and do a different thing and have it work. I just didn't believe it. And since I didn't believe it, I didn't make the change. But I did what a lot of us do. I'm not even gonna front. I did what a lot of us do. As soon as I had the logo, as soon as I had the maximum, I was telling all my friends. I was doing what we'll call dream masturbation. See, I was getting off on the fact that I was telling everybody my dream instead of going out there and executing my dream. I think a lot of us do that. We have these dreams, we tell our friends, we're like, yeah, man, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that over there, and it's gonna be, we're gonna be popping bottles, whatever, right? And then that's it. You got your, you know, after you done told your friends, you're like, cool, I don't gotta do nothing now. Cause you just dream masturbating. And that's what I was doing. And now I realized, well, I didn't just realize, I'm gonna tell you, I hate to just tell you half the story. I didn't just realize. I'm trying to catch up to where my life is now. In the last 2 years, I've had some insane, like my life, I moved here to South Carolina from Seattle. Since I moved here 2 years ago, in 2 months, my life is completely different than it was my previous 42 years of my life. I'm trying to catch up to where my life is now so that I can enjoy, I can appreciate all the things that have changed in my life since then. So I'm playing catch up. When this all came to a head for me was when I was reading this book the other day, and it was talking about, getting a coach. And I'm like, man, I don't want to get no coach. I don't want to pay for no coach. But I thought about something. Einstein said, the thinking that got you here won't get you there. Something, I'm paraphrasing. And I had got myself as far as I could take myself. At least that's what I believed. And so I got on this thing and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna book a session with a coach right now. I booked a session with a coach and it went terrible. I mean, terrible. By the end of the session, I text my brother-in-law and told him that was the most brutal thing that I think I may have ever done. It was that bad. And in the thing, we're talking, and I'm telling him about about Short Man Nation, and how I'm proud of it, and how I can see it doing big things, and all of that, right? He listens to me, and then begins to tell me all the ways it won't work. And then he also told me, well, in the meantime, you should get a part-time job, and you should expect that it's going to take you 3 years and no advertiser is even going to care about your audience because the audience doesn't have any money anyway. I'm like, God, that was brutal. And then not only that, he did tell me something I could use and reminded me of something about my own self. He told me, he said, the reason why people love entrepreneurs and people who want to go into business, because what they will do is they'll spend 10 years buying books, courses, going to this meetup, that meetup, before they even consider starting a business, before they actually do the thing. So we love them. They'll spend so much money. I was like, that's crazy. And then I remembered my whole bookshelf full of books from top to bottom. I have so many books, I had to put some in storage. And he was talking about me. It was me. I was the guy he was talking about, along with all the other people that are making these people rich off the fact that they know you won't do anything. But I was like, oh, this is crazy. So I did take away that takeaway from me. And the second thing that I took away from what he said, he was like, your audience is only 18 to 24. And I looked at YouTube and I'm like, it's actually not true. But I had never looked before or never even paid attention because, I'm just like, whatever. So when he said that, I actually looked. So my audience is like 25 to 34. Okay, that's good information to know. But I never would have looked had he not said that. So those were the takeaways. And the third takeaway was that you have to understand, if you have a dream, you have a goal, you have an idea, not everybody is gonna believe in it. And some people are outright going to crush what you believe in because, they just can't see it. And that's what happened in my situation. And when you have these things, when you tell somebody something and it crushes and their response hurts, I'm not gonna lie and say that it didn't hurt. It bothered me. It kind of made me feel like I've just been wasting my time. So when you have a response like that, what you have to do is process it. And for me, that was sending my brother-in-law that text message. And then I also wrote about it that night so that I didn't go to sleep with all that inside of me. And then the next morning, my brother-in-law asked me, how did I process that? And just being able to talk through that with him, letting him know how I was able to do it, it kind of helped me let go. But that didn't deter me. I had already had another coaching session set up with a different coach. So the very next day, I meet with that coach. And that's when we start talking. One, straight off the top, he kind of helps me reframe how I see things. And he told me he believed in what I'm doing. But he asked some questions. And so we're working through things, we're talking through things, and then he goes, yeah, that name, it's not gonna work. But I already knew that. I knew that 7 months ago that the name wouldn't work. But I kept the name because out of the fear of changing the name. That is why I kept it. But he's like, you're just essentially what I said, reminding people of what the thing you're trying to not have them focus on. So I was like, yeah, I'm sitting there writing down, like, yes, this makes sense. And, so we keep talking. And the more we talk, I'm like, I just blurted out. I sound, well, I have a new name. And I came up with it. I have the logo. I have this. I have that. He's like, oh, I love this. Why aren't you using this? And then I come up with all my excuses and all this other things. And I was like, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to, uh, introduce it to the audience or anything like that. And he takes out a piece of paper and he writes, you go on video, you say, I'm sorry, and you tell them you're changing the name. So that's what I did today. I came on video, I'm saying I'm sorry, I've already changed the name. And the other thing was, I thought I was gonna have to start all the way over if I changed the name. But in reality, you just go in there and change the name. And I didn't know that until he told me that. So it was like, mind blown. I did it. So I changed the name on YouTube. I'm changing the name on the podcast. I'm changing the name everywhere. I changed the name on TikTok already. I have to change it on Instagram because I actually started a whole new page for the name, thinking that I had to start a whole new page. But the point is, I got a coach because these were the little things that I could not see or convince myself that they couldn't be. Now, my job from here is to chart a plan to show you how we're going to stop focusing on the fact that of your height, and we're going to start focusing on what makes you an icon. How do you become an icon? How do you stand tall in life and go after the things you want? That's what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on that. We're stature icons, baby. We're not short mid nation. We're icons, baby. We are icons living. That's what we're going to focus on. And I had to get to the point where I asked the question, why not me? Why not you? Why not us? That's where I'm at. So I want to say I appreciate all of you, and I'm sorry it took me so long to make the decision to go in a direction that I know I'm supposed to go. At times life gets uncomfortable, and I'm in this uncomfortable space while I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm apologizing, I'm realizing that it does take a village of different people to help you get to where you want to be. And when he told me the price for his coaching, I don't really have that, but I'm going to figure it out, right? I'm going to make this happen because there are big things on the way, and they're on the way, but I have to get out of my own way. And sometimes you need a second voice to help you do that. All right, so this is Jalal Wilson with the Stature Icon, baby. That's what it is. That's what it's going to be. And it's only up from here.